And the award for worst StarCraft 2 map name in the new ladder map pool goes to Gresvan. Congratulations, Gresvan. One of the 7 new maps that got added to StarCraft 2 a couple of days ago. From what I understand, Gresvan was a planet in an anime called Kubera. I think that's how, I don't know, I tried looking it up, but I couldn't really figure it out. Anyhow, what I've got for you today is a Terran versus Zerg. By far the longest game that I could find so far, played with the new tournament maps, and it just so happens to take place right here on this one. So I'm excited to find out exactly how it plays out, but spotting right here in the bottom right-hand corner of Gresvan. Is that even how you pronounce it? I think so. I don't really see how this could be like a Jagannatha situation where I could actually mispronounce the map. Pretty sure that has to be it. Anyways, spotting right here with the blue Terran SUVs from South Korea, we have Kjær. His opponent in the opposite corner, also actually playing with blue. Slightly lighter color, I suppose, but from South Korea as well. We're looking at Dark's main hatchery. Alrighty, so I haven't seen a game yet on this map. I think I did do a quick review when they first announced the maps for the Team Liquid map contest back in, I don't know, this was like October? Something like that. Anyways, I do think I quickly reviewed this one, but I haven't seen an actual match on this map just yet, unless I'm mistaken. So let us read the description real quick. So this is a map made by Legan. L-E-G-A-N? Legan? Legan? I don't know. It's a macro map with a rake layout of 16 bases. There are forward bases between the usual third base locations. Because the third base opens towards the sides and creates a cliff towards the middle, the general movement focuses on a wider choke with line-of-sight blockers and a ramp near the triangular fourth. Okay, so let us have a look. First off, gotta say, the map looks really nice and bright. I've complained about this in the past. Apparently today I'm just ranting. Sorry, it's early in the morning, guys. I haven't really had... Well, I've had my coffee, but it hasn't quite kicked in yet, maybe. Anyway, in the past, StarCraft 2 maps tended to be quite dark. For some reason, a lot of map makers thought dark maps equal good maps. I'm very happy to see that the new maps in StarCraft 2 over the last couple of years, and with this new season, it's also the case. It's a little bit brighter, and in general, it's just a little bit more pleasant to look at. I think it's really nice. So, yeah. A+ here for the graphics once again. I mean, honestly, all the maps in the new map pool are really, really pretty. Reaper going across here. I think I'm going to ignore it, just because, well, there's 6 Zerglings here in total now, and you shouldn't get any kills. Alright, so let's have a look. So, large main base. There is a little Reaper jump-up pad over here. Apparently in like a cake layout. Love to see that. Not a graphic we normally have. So Reaper could have gone into the main base, but instead, okay, managed to get a Zergling kill over here at the front. So, a couple of third base options. You could go for the one over here, or you can go for the one over here that Dark just went for. You have one a little bit further forward. Bit of a dangerous position, though. I don't think that Zergs are really going to be too keen to take this one early. You could also go for the one right over here on the low ground on the left. Okay. So, these side blockers over here are definitely going to create some interesting situations, because if you have a unit over here, you can't see across the fog wall, and obviously... it's a double layer here. Little sneaky path over there. Can you actually move? No. Can you move a unit in that direction? I actually need to know. It will be one of the absolute worst locations for a proxy Dark Shrine, but I would love to see it. Quick Roach Warren, by the way, here from Dark. Yeah, second gas coming up as well. So we only have a little bit longer here to look around the map, because Mr. Dark, I think, is making himself up for some aggression. Sadly for him, though, he's going up against the Banshee opener, so I don't expect that the Roach Push is going to be able to deal that much damage, unless the Banshees are in the wrong position. Very pretty looking map, actually. Yeah, very nice looking. I mean, massive main base. The main base almost seems a little bit too big to me, because you can fit, like, I don't know, at least 20 production structures in here if you're a Terran player. Might block your own movement at that point, but it certainly is a very, very large main base. Not a lot of locations for Overlords to chill. Yeah, so I think that's the pillar that the Overlord just came from. It is going to be flying through the main base at 420. It will get picked off, so he's trying to get a scout right here because that main base is so big, though. Yeah, okay, he scouts the 3rd CC. That's nice. Okay, he does also see... No, he does not see the tech lab here. So it's actually quite a big deal. At this point, though, Kjær has already sent back all of the units, and the Roaches are out. Okay, we're not going to make Zerglings on the back of it, so it's just going to be 8 Roaches here to put on a little bit of pressure. I think this is Dark looking at this. He hasn't seen a Banshee, so I think he's just making the assumption that there is a Banshee because it was a 3rd Command Center opener, and usually with a 3rd CC opener, you do make a safety Banshee, at least very commonly right now in the current meta of StarCraft 2. So, yeah, he does decide to not flood this with additional Zerglings. I think if he would have seen, or if he would have not seen a 3rd CC, he probably would have followed up with more links as well. Now, instead, the Roaches are going to go all the way back home, and, well, there's a bit of a unfortunate start to this particular game for Dark, but rather than committing with the Roaches here and trying to get as much juice out of them as possible, he decides to send them all the way back home. Alright. Not a huge problem, though, here for the Zerg. It means that Cure also gets to play Macro for at least another little while. He's got Stimpack finishing up in a little bit, so there's a good chance he's going to be getting a little bit more aggressive here momentarily. There's also a Reactor coming up on the starport to start pumping out those Medivacs 2 at a time. Banshees in the meantime, though, going to work, getting a couple drones. Overseer just about to finish up here, so these Banshees, okay, great timing here from Cure. They're going to be flying all the way back home as well. Because Dark decided to go for the Roach Warren relatively early here, he's decided to go straight into the double upgrades and now also go for an Infestation Pit. Oh, the Milcarrick over here, blocking that newly made hatchery, at least for just a couple seconds. Hellions right now coming in from the site, but this map so far feels incredibly wide open, right? So hold up, like everything is bigger. Maybe this map name should have been Texas, okay? Like, we've got a massive main base. We've got a huge choke point over here. I suggest we call this Texas LE. I've never been to Texas, but from what I understand, the average car is a Ford F-350. At least that's what I've been told by guys in Twitch chat. And as we all know, Twitch chat never lies. Only, you know, peak IQs. The outliers of, you know, the human society. The absolute, you know, geniuses in the world. Those are the people in Twitch chat. Grandmasters, multiple PhDs, and, you know, from Texas. So they got everything going for themselves. There's a good chance there's a place for barbecue as well somewhere. Can we, maybe we can find something. Anyways, ooh, maybe that's what these little... Yeah, dude. You can definitely hold a nice little barbecue in this meadow, can't you? That's sick, dude. That's a great space. Anyways, big attack coming in right here through that massive choke point. Honestly, this map feels huge. Now that I'm looking at it, the choke points are huge. I'm honestly impressed. Anyways, a couple of infestors are coming up, but this is all a little too late. Dark going into a hive right now. He's going into a lurker den, and that's nice. Does he have enough? He wants to get closer to that siege tank, right? Okay, he does have enough to eventually break this. Even gets one of the Medivacs on the way out, and he snipes that siege tank. Okay. I didn't think he was gonna commit to that fight, but the alternative was losing the base, so he took a bit of a chance. Ended up having enough right there to break through that actually relatively comfortably. I didn't think that was gonna look like that, but apparently the distances here are significant. Honestly, you'd have to siege up the tank over here to like hit the hatchery. So over there, you would barely even have to worry about it. I mean, obviously the Marines would go back and forth, but... The map really is big, isn't it? Huh. Don't know what's going on in this area. Those pillars over here in the water. They're kind of cool. Anyways, double Medivac drop is going to continue onwards, and now suddenly, though... Dark is finding himself with Hive Tech, and even though he had a bit of a strange early game, right, with a really quick Roach Warren, but not getting any damage done, he decided to go straight into a Hive, and now he's gonna go straight into Lurkers as well. Now keep in mind, this is played with the new multiplayer balance changes, however, the Lurkers were not updated. I actually think they probably should be updated ever so slightly, but a little bit of a nerf would be nice. But maybe it's not necessary. Okay. Yeah, this is apparently where the Overlords hang out. So Dark has got a bit of vision here of this dead space between, well, whatever this expansion would be, and then the main base. You can see this attack coming in from a mile away. Same time, there was a little bit of harassment here by the Banshees over at the newly acquired hatchery. The forward one. But he should be okay. Alright, so Dark is going straight into late game armies. From going from, he went from early game pressure straight into a late game army. So he's got Infestors with energy right now. He's got Vipers coming up. There's enough Overlords now also to finish the game. And that's going to open up more supply right here to produce those Lurkers. +2/+2 in the meantime is finishing up on the other side of the map. Last time I casted Cure, it was in a game against Raynor. Okay, I was gonna say, he was reluctant to go for Ghosts. But this time around, we do see the Ghost Academy a little bit quicker. I actually wouldn't have mind seeing it a little sooner than this. Just because with an army like this, it's not super likely that Zerg is going to be attacking you, other than maybe with like a... I don't know. There could always be like a group of lurkers, I guess, at the 4th base, right? So, lurkers just walking over here, burrowing on the ground. Planetary Fortress can't fly. It's too heavy, I suppose. And, yeah, that would be the end of that. So that is the main thing to concern yourself with, but... I don't see how you could face off against lurkers without at least a bunch of ghosts. Banshees are... Ooh, actually, hold that thought. Massive fungal growths over here dealing a ton of damage. The majority of the Marines still live. You might want to back off. This is an interesting position right here on Texas Elite. There's a little divot here on the low ground. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why Cure is sitting here. Is this good for him? Like, I think the idea is that he, yeah, elevators over to the high ground. So, Dark really should have had a couple lurkers here in place already, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the first times that these guys are playing on this map. There's a little bit of abduction delay as well, right, on the Viper. So that's one of the additions that's been made to the game. When Vipers abduct something, they hang there for about, I think, 0.7 seconds right now. The value has been updated a couple of times. They're still tweaking the numbers, but... yeah, they're basically on idle momentarily. And it makes it easier for the Terran player to try to pick them off. Which is a great change. This is a dangerous expansion actually to take. Yeah. It's a lot of Fort F-350s right here on the low ground. Okay, he gets it. The hatchery does live for now. Matter of fact, drop over here, just kind of chilling. A couple of Zerglings are like, hey bro, I thought you were coming. Okay, at least he sees this coming in from a mile away, so this should give Zerg all the info he needs. Fungal growth. Medevacs are gonna get targeted as well. Dark is looking really solid so far here. I'm impressed with the way he's managing this. He might end up losing this base, however. There is a Zergling counterattack. And a lurker. And an Overseer. Sorry, Overseer, didn't want to forget about you. Yeah, this hatch is going to be a tricky one to take. I mean, it came at the cost of like 7 siege tanks, though, so I don't really know if that was really that big of a deal. Zerglings going around the site right now. They find the command center explosion. Tons of additional command centers coming up here. Obviously, we've seen that many times over the last couple of months where Terrans, rather than going for the win, they will try to go for the economy instead. There are a lot of bases on this map, right? You can expand everywhere, so... Don't mind seeing it. Anyway, straight into 3-3. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, we do have... Now, this is an interesting one. We've got Adrenal Glands, but only... yeah, unupgraded Zerglings. So, Adrenal Glands is going to give them 40% more attack speed, but their damage output is still terrible. We don't normally see unupgraded Zerglings. Yeah, with Adrenal Glands. That's kind of funny. Anyways, a couple of snipes now available here at the front. One change that's been made to the snipe ability is that if units move away out of range of the snipe, the ability is actually going to get cancelled. They've changed the range as well at which you can start snipe. So this is one of the more recent additions. And you may very well end up needing it here as well. Okay, well, you can snipe that thing down pretty easily. But you might end up needing it here because the Zerg is about to create an infestation in the main base. It's going to be okay. Very ambitious little ghost there, going right where the siege tank previously shot. Matter of fact, drop up north also gets denied. Okay. Yeah, Dark is, I mean, he struggled a little bit with this base, I suppose, so this expansion here has been a bit tricky. But other than that, he's looked incredibly solid. How many siege tanks went down? Okay, so 9 tanks in total. That is quite a bit. Obviously, you got a couple Vipers and a few units here and there in general, but yeah. Killing that base wasn't necessarily a win there for Cure. Snipes going down left, right, and center. /r/all things Terran told me that, well, the Ghost would now be a pointless unit after the changes, but it still seems pretty darn good to me, guys. People already told me so, man. Maybe they need multiple PhDs as well, just like guys in the chat. What if they're the same people? They're probably the same people. How does it work? one thing I've noticed, actually. Command center goes down. Wow, he forgot to lift it. Okay, well, he's going to be able to clean all of this up. One thing I've noticed some time ago, right? So, in general, I have a very... Like, I stream most days, in case you're unfamiliar. 2 to 8 p.m. Central European time is when I usually stream. Big move to the low ground, but I don't think it can get much done. Anyways, I've got a very amazing Twitch chat. Like, my chat is awesome. People in general have been hanging out for years. And the positivity really is quite unique on the internet. Like, generally speaking, I mean, you've probably seen comments, right? You've seen comments, you've seen, you know, Twitter and other places. And in general, the internet can be quite negative. But my chat, I've always been blessed with that. A lot of people are, yeah, incredibly positive and just super nice. However, there are also other streamers that also stream StarCraft, right? Like, for example, Artosis. Artosis is one of the most toxic chats that I've ever seen on Twitch. Obviously, that's part of the whole, you know, experience. But I noticed some time ago when I was watching Artosis in his natural habitat that the guys in the chat were, well, at least some of them, were the same guys as in my chat. Just behaving entirely differently. If someone is still looking to do their PhD thesis, right, and you need a subject, I feel like analyzing the psychology of Twitch chat would be a very interesting paper I'd like to see. Because, well, people seem to behave very differently in chat rooms as well as in real life. I know. Crazy times. How did I get here? I don't know how I got here anymore. In my one-man podcast this morning. I don't know how I got here. It doesn't really matter. Anyways. I feel like Kira's getting shut down in a... Ooh! Oh, that was sexy. Dark could become a basketball player if this whole StarCraft thing doesn't work out. I feel like so far we haven't seen Kira be too successful with his pushing, but he has done a phenomenal job setting up a huge economy. So he has apparently decided to take the eastern wing on this map, on this huge map. I don't know how he's ever going to be taking this one. Honestly, this map seems amazing for Zerg. Am I mistaken? I feel like this map is absolutely fantastic for Zerg. Like, there are so many bases, so much space, so much room to, like, maneuver. It's way too early to tell, but at least my gut instinct is telling me that this is gonna be a Zerg map. Like, the thing is, yeah, you could take the eastern wing over here, but now what? Right? I guess you can take this one, too. It's all just... It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to out-macro Dark on a map like this, but apparently Kira is going for it. We'll have to see if it ends up working out for him. He's getting some really good trades, though. Every time you see these armies clash, it seems to me, and I love this bait as well, for the one lurker, but with his friends on the high ground. Anyways, every time we see these armies clash, it seems to me, yeah, that Terran is getting the upper hand. So if you look right now at the units lost, heavy advantage right there for Cure. And he's once again gonna go for this base over here. Okay. Zerg has transitioned, by the way, away from the Roach Ravager army into Lingbane instead. So we have Hydra Lingbane. With some spellcasters. Okay, Lurker's trying to create a difficult time for these Terran units to retreat. He is going to be moving forward, however. Okay, now the Banelings are suddenly appearing. This is not a unit he's really seen yet, and he's not paying attention at all. That honestly worked out better than I thought it would, because he did not lose literally everything. I think that's primarily due to the fact, yeah, we're only at +1 melee when that fight happened, so... That, yeah, did mean that those Terran units actually could sustain quite a bit of damage there, because, well, they're fully armor upgraded. Anyhow, this base is probably the trickiest one for Dark. I think in any upcoming game, you'll probably be taking that one way later. Since Terran, though, okay, has been moving around the map a lot. They're also spread super thinly, but that siege tank, brilliant position on that one, in the perfect spot to deny any night display. There's maybe a couple of angles where he could get some work done. Lurker over here being annoying. He's trying again. Same spot. I mean, slightly different spot. He probably also thinks that it's fairly out of range. I feel like that siege tank could shoot away really quite far here, but he ends up denying it once again. And that is super important, because being forced to deal with lurkers right now in the main base would be a disaster. Snipe still dealing a ton of damage. Those lurkers, man. Those lurkers up north have been an absolute nuisance. Should really spend a moment here to clean those up. Yeah, there you go. Alright. But as he makes his move up here, look at the amount of space that Dark has at the bottom of the map. Like, seriously, there are That's gonna take the Terran like 30 seconds. We've got 50 creep tumors here in total, and it's barely covering a third of the map. Actually nuts. Damn, Gresvan is huge. Rocks are opened up right now as well to increase the amount of paths that he's got. I guess Mr. Kurdo is redeeming himself, at least from that one game that I casted between him and Raynar recently. In that match, he really did not want to go for Ghosts. He only went for Ghosts when he absolutely needed to, but now he's going for only Ghosts. Onlyghosts.com. I would subscribe. However much it would cost. I would 100%. Okay, Siege Tanks in the meantime, getting the Knight over here. Zerg army trying to engage in this area. Not a lot of Marines, though. Yeah, it's very Marauder Ghost heavy. So, I mean, the Ghost obviously will be a good trade here for Banelings, but Marauders, not really a unit you want to be rolling your Banes into. Planetary Fortress up here is going to have a difficult time mining. Oh, good control here by Cure once again, though. The trades have all been amazing. Maybe he'll end up losing a Planetary Fortress. Yeah, he will. But there should be enough command centers. We're at 9 command centers right now. Yeah, you know what? Rather than flying this CC all the way up north, by the time it gets there, you'll probably finish up the new one. Okay, maybe a little bit of an exaggeration there, but feels like it. There are some bases... Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. There are some bases that seem really quite tricky here for a Zerg to acquire. This one, not easy. This one over here, not easy. One thing, though, that is always an option for the Swarm is to go for a full-on counterattack, and that's exactly what he does right now. We haven't seen that much use out of the Knight as Worms, but we certainly could be seeing some of that here very soon. There's nothing inside of the Worm. Maybe it's just for retreating. Yeah, he's a little scared. Okay, yeah, he does decide to pop them in. Yeah, maybe I spoke a bit too soon. I thought it was going to be really difficult for Cure to get good economy. That one Siege Tank over there, man, has been an absolute legend. But despite the fact that he hasn't had the income advantage here since, well, 10 minutes, Cure has been holding on just fine. His bank is still big enough. He's still harvesting resources. He's only got 60-ish supply caught up in workers, whereas Dark is forced to put a lot more of his emphasis right there on those drones. Mules are very nice at this stage in the game. It's a very ambitious planetary fortress. Ah, never mind. Maybe. Yeah, no, it's tricky. When ghosts take damage, their channeled ability is cancelled. He decides to give up on that position for now. Couple of medevacs split off from the rest. They're gonna try and fly by those overlords up north once again. I actually want to look up how big this map exactly is. One sec. Sadly, since the maps are still so new, no one's actually looked up exactly how big the maps are yet. So usually there's a little entry, but it just says an X. So I think that is to be figured out. But I really do feel like this map is absolutely huge with the amount of playable space. Units are everywhere, though. And Cure is actually doing a really good job in this game. I feel like... Okay, so obviously Cure is one of the very best Terrans in the world, but I kind of feel like this is like Dark's sweet spot. This is really where he likes to be. And since the map layout seems to promote a lot of mobility, since there's a lot of space between the bases, I felt about 10 minutes ago that Cure would have a really tough road ahead of him. But he's doing a phenomenal job, and I would even say that he's ahead right now. Sniping bases left, right, and center, keeping a good economy alive. I mean, he loses quite a bit as well, but he should be okay. Liberators are coming up right now. They are about 25 gas cheaper. So even though the strength of the Ghost has been tuned down ever so slightly, the Liberator is slightly more powerful as well at the same time. So I think it's to make up for it, but honestly, the Ghost still seem pretty good to me. So in the past, at least before this patch was announced, I think the idea was that with this patch, Zergs would feel a little bit more comfortable going into Brute Lords as well as into Ultralisks. But, yeah, not sure. I don't really see how you're gonna be able to run either of those two units into these bad boys right over here. 21 already. Liberators are also really good against Ultras. Siege tanks also actually don't mess around. Marauders are also not bad. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be seeing a lot of Ultra transitioning at this point in the game. Brute Lords, no. I mean, they're faster now. I wonder if you can outrun Ghosts, though. Maybe if you find the right area on the right map, maybe there's a chance you could use, like, a high ground, right? And make it difficult for the Ghost to chase you, but... Anyhow, this map, it ended up taking 13th at the most recent Team Liquid map contest. What is kind of interesting to me is that the map that has won, called Starchild, is not actually part of the map pool. So Starchild is the map that was made by Maris, and she has had many of the maps part of the, the StarCraft 2 ladder map pool and the tournament map pool and all that. But for some reason, I don't know. I'm not sure why. I'm not even sure who's actually in charge of, like, deciding where these maps are. Like, who? I don't know. I have no clue. I know that I've, like, people have asked me if I was informed about this before, like, if I was asked to give my... No, nobody asked me anything, right? I just cast games. I just make content. I am not in any way, shape, or form responsible or involved in any balanced discussions whatsoever. Which is probably fine, right? It's not a huge deal, but I'm not asking to be either, because then suddenly I might be responsible, and then suddenly I won't be able to trash talk whoever made those decisions. But yeah, I'm not involved. Huge Zerg move right here in the northern section of the map. Planetary Fortress over here is going to be in a tough spot as well. Terran army stimming to get back home as quickly as possible, but it takes them a long while. In the meantime, though, yeah, we do have drops left, right, and center getting a bit of work done, but I think the Zerg reinforcements are going to be able to clean that up. Another planetary falls, another command center falls as well, and now suddenly Dark is starting to make moves. Kjor has found himself in a weird spot. Like, he is ready to fight in this concave right over here, right? He'll win any fight in that area. The problem is that most of his economy was above this, like, imaginary line right over here. So he just lost 31 SCVs. Suddenly this base, yeah, I was gonna say, that one becomes really quite viable here for the Zerg. If Terran is forced to split all of their attention between the north and the south, they're probably spread a little bit too thinly, right? Whereas if Kjor right now only protects the south, the north is gonna be something that Dark can acquire. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Nice hatchery snipe right there, though, from Kjor. Forced to spend some of his piggy bank, but he still has a ton of resources. Sensor towers, 10% less radius, by the way. Circle is ever so slightly smaller, although on a map as big as Texas LE, the circle looks relatively small anyways. Alright. This is Dark moving straight through the center of the map. Look at the ghosts in the bio army, man. By the time they get there, this base is gone. You'd need sensor towers over here. Like, you need them far forward in order to see that Terran or that Zerg army coming in, so you can actually move your Terran army in the right place. This is usually what happens on the big maps. At some point, sure, you can acquire bases, but you can't hold on to, like, both areas of the map. No, I go back to my original thoughts. I think that this is definitely a good map for Zerg. In a straight-up fight, Kjor wins everything. But I don't think Dark is gonna give him he's not gonna give him a straight up fight ever. So Dark right now, though, up with his back against the wall. He needs to be very cautious. He's not maxed out. He doesn't have a lot of money. Burns down. Problem is that Zerg economy is... Yeah, the Zerg economy here is gonna get huge. Wow. Microbial shrouds. Almost feels like a BM. Okay, decides to pop all of the units over here inside of the worm. They're ready to go back home. But if we look right now at the economy here from the Terran, I mean, he's trying to acquire a new base over here, which is fair enough. But there are not a whole lot of mining mineral fields here for Kjor. If Dark can hold on for another couple minutes, I think he's gonna feel really comfortable. Because Terran right now has been reduced to like 2 base economy, whereas he can do whatever he likes. This would also be an opportunity, though, for Cure to make a more aggressive move, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think, actually, this is a mistake, though. Like, dilly-dallying between these bases, going back and forth, I don't think that's what you want to... Whoa, that was cute. Hold up, I need to back off. I think he just purposely walked the mule on top of that lurker. It's this lurker over here. Sorry, I backed up like 10, 15 seconds. So he doesn't have vision, but he didn't want to scan. So he decided to shoot at his own mule. That is really cute. I've never seen anyone do that before. That mule that was tasked with repairing the factory and miserably failed, still succeeded in doing something else useful by sacrificing himself. I don't think this is the time for making 4 command centers, Cure. Am I wrong? Cure is trying to restart up his economy. In the meantime, though, Dark has taken everything that he likes. He's been mining out the bottom left, he's been mining out the center, he's been going for the top right, he's got a new base right over here in the far top right as well. I think Dark is feeling pretty good about himself at this point. So one thing you can always do here as Dark is go for a full-on counterattack, right? Okay, well this is good though for the Terran player. Let's go, Cure. Zerg army though ready to collapse on top of this. There's the fungal growths as well. There's not a lot of anti-air available, but I think there's enough. Now he's forced to unload into the lurker spines. My god. Yeah, chain fungals here. He did not split in time. Okay, that fight initially looked absolutely amazing for Cure. Until it didn't. He scans over here. He's like, bro, are you... Okay, you're still mining that one? That kind of sucks. If you look right now at the army size graph. That is a Zerg dream right there. So that is the army size in supply. Zerg obviously supply-wise a bit lower because they have a lot more supply caught up in drones. But that was the Zerg dream right there. Dark going up against the Terran without anti-air at that point, right? Like he just... sorry, without like a way to counter those... I mean, he had the way. He had the way to counter the infested, just didn't have the ghost in the right place. What I'm getting at. Getting more Marines in the mix probably would have made it a bit cheaper too. Anyways, expensive set of units ended up going down. Additional command centers just finished up, so those 8 mineral fields over here can be mined like hell. Just amazing. I think this is going from bad to worse right now, yeah. But it actually had nothing to do with the map size. Blocked by a knight as well. I mean, the changelings would have blocked it too, but this is a more, quote-unquote, permanent solution. That expansion here on the right side that Terran previously nibbled away at with those mules, it's now going to be mined by the Zerg before too long. Yeah, as a Terran, I think it's super important to not be pushed back past this line over here. You have to like sit out here. But the problem is if you sit out here, then suddenly the south is going to be all to the Zerg. It's tricky, man. This is going to be a tough map for Terrans. Well, Terrans against Zerg, that is. Massive fungal growths, left, right, and center. Huge amount of kills right there on the ghosts as well. They're managing to, well, at least some of them, they managed to get away, but Dark will be more than happy to trade this out once again. He's now even going for Neural Parasite, so obviously he can go for the classic move that we've been seeing time and time again lately, where you go for a Neural Parasite on the ghost, and then you EMP the other ghost, and then suddenly your Zerglings and Banelings can close the distance easy peasy. And the lurkers. Also the lurkers, probably more important, so the lurkers. That one will get denied. The Zerg infestation is everywhere. Beautiful game by Dark, man. Really well played. There it is. GG is cold. And it's going to be our Zerg player who obtains the victory.